Guess who's back? Back again. Trump is back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? 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 Bing 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 bing.
I'll create a monster, cause nobody wants to see Biden no more. They want Trump. I'm chopped liver. Well, if you want Trump, this is what I'll give you. A little bit of weed mixed with some hard liquor. Some vodka that'll jumpstart my heart quicker than a shot when I get shot at the hospital by the doctor. When I'm not cooperating, when I'm rocking the table, well, he's operating. You waited this long, now stop debating, cause I'm back, I'm loaded leg and ovulating. I know that you got a job, Miss Pelosi, but your husband's heart problem's complicating. So the FCC won't let me be, or let me be me, so let me see. They try to shut me down on my Twitter, but it feels so empty without me. So come on, thumb on your lips, that, come on your lips, and some tits, and get ready, cause this shit's about to get heavy. Just settle all my lawsuits. Fuck you, Nancy! This looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me. I said, this looks like a job for me, so everybody just follow me, cause we need little controversy, cause it feels so empty without me.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of CobraCast 199. I am your host, Jeremy Prime, Mage IDOT of Unit 199. Did I see someone complaining about the intro? Did I see someone complaining about the intro? You know what that means. Roll it again, Johnny.
Guess who's back? Back again.
I'm not going to roll the whole thing again. Anyway, hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, we have a Trump press conference set for about 10 minutes from now. It's rumored he's going to be talking about moving the Space Command Center. We'll see. I'm sure he's going to have a lot more than just that. The press will be there, so hopefully they're going to ask him about all of these rumors from the crazy Democrats out there. I mean, because we've even got a situation here today where Tim Walz, a person who is friends with school shooters, I can't believe he said this. This is what Tim Walz said. So for the past, since Friday, the left has been running with narratives that Donald Trump has died and that he's no longer running the country. Now they're running with the narrative of, since he's been confirmed to not be dead, now they're running with the narrative that he had a stroke and he's not running the country anymore. They're continuing to look like absolute idiots. And then Tim Walz comes out today and says this right here.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things. And although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime. Just so you know, there will be news. You get up in.
Unbelievable. So yeah, that's Tim Walz right there, former vice presidential nominee for Kamala Harris, wishing for the death of Donald Trump. Are you kidding me? I just responded, holy shit, these people are insane. And they are. But again, I hope they continue to do this. Tim Walz is, somebody said it in the chat, says he's a psychopath. Absolutely is, dude. The dude is unhinged beyond belief. JMNZZ450 says, today I learned Jeremy has more video clips of Jay than hot females. Jeremy, I have never called you gay, but I've got news for you. Listen, I'm just telling you right now. With Jay, it's all about quantity. With the ladies, it's all about quality. I only need one clip of Sweeney and one clip of Anna Paulina Luna to get the job done. With Jay, I need about 25. All right? So it's quantity over quality with Jay, but with the women, it's about quality. Okay? So there you have it. That's how it works. Galo Kata says, I'm back. Burb Shid for 2 says, principled lesbians. Scroats Magoat says, Trump's announcement is be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Let's see here. Okay. Now, Tim Walz being a crazy lunatic is not the most surprising news in the world, but it is like insane. You know what? Let's go back. I want to paint the picture here one more time. We're talking about a person that was chosen to be the vice presidential nominee for Kamala Harris. Getting up on stage and wishing death upon the current president of the United States of America. How unbelievable is this shit, dude? Good Lord. Disgusting. So fuck him and fuck all of these Democrats. They can all go straight to hell because they've proven that they are evil and that they hate America and that they hate you if you disagree with them. Let's see here. What else is going on as we are waiting? So we're currently waiting for President Trump to go live from the Oval Office. The press is going to be there. So I can't wait to hear what interesting questions they're going to have for President Trump. I had some other stuff too right here. Oh, okay. So this is a clip. And this just kind of shows you where things are right now. Okay. This is a clip from a Coldplay concert. I don't know the context of like where this, like how long ago this was, but this just kind of shows you how insane the anti-Israel narrative is. Listen to this right here from Coldplay.
Where did you come from today? From Israel. Okay, well. Okay, well, listen. I'm going to say this. I'm very grateful that you're here as humans, and I'm treating you as equal humans on earth, regardless of where you come from or don't come from. Thank you for being here. We're grateful, and thank you for being loving and kind. Although it's controversial, maybe, I also want to welcome people in the audience from Palestine, because we have a belief that we're all equal human. And yeah, thank you for being here.
Design some box.
Absolutely fucking insane. My goodness. Imagine being so programmed and so terrified of your leftist audience that you have to treat genuine fans like this. I can't imagine being this scared of the mob. This is unbelievable. Wow. Absolutely insane. So there you have it. Coldplay, scared because someone from their audience was from Israel and they had to denounce them in the most indirect way possible, or the most passive aggressive way possible. Sad reality of where we are. But I mean, it's Coldplay. What do you expect? Run Godzilla says, damn. Eric K says, Walz drinks stallion milk from the top. Ryan Miller says, I really hope people like Tim Walz continue with the bullshit with all their problems with fundraising, voters, and crime is all self-sabotage. Sebastian says, hi from Norway. We need a Trump here too, honestly. Hey, brother. Trump would work in so many different places. I mean, Trump should be the king of the world. He absolutely should. Red Mage for a proper 199 and says, was going to drop this yesterday, just turned 48 on Sunday, and wanted to say thanks to you and the chat for being one of the best parts of the workday with CobraCast. Hail the 199, and then drops 20 gifted memberships as well. Holy crap. Thank you, Red Mage. Happy birthday to you, brother. A young, vibrant man at 48 years old, Red Mage. And there's only one way to celebrate a proper 199. With Sydney Sweeney, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ready for President Trump. Sydney Sweeney here to celebrate the proper 199. And
Should I do it?
Do not come.
I'm gonna do it.
Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Thank you so much, Red Mage. And also for those 20 gifted memberships. Chat, make sure you wish Red Mage and Jessica happy birthday. It's Jessica and Red Mage happy birthday. There you go. Thank you, brother. Kate for 20 says, Hail 199 Mage IDOT. Thank you for the multiple live casts in the past 24 hours. I'm on staycation this week. 4 vacation days equals 10 days off. That's what's up right there. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So enjoy your staycation. Clutch City Fan 199 says Snake Pit, another month of being a part of the 199. Happy birthday, Jessica. Jeremy's still gay. Skywalker says, Jeremy, I warned you about Coldplay. OCP official says Alabama gay. Players paint their fingernails and carry around stress dolls. I have no defense. I have no defense of Alabama right now. I don't have any defense of Alabama. Dude, college football in general, man. Like, you had the hype for Arch Manning, and that completely blew up in their face. Then you had Alabama get completely embarrassed. Then you had the hype for Bill Belichick, and that blew up in their face. It's a wild college football season, man. Wild college football season indeed. So we're currently waiting for President Trump to go live. I have the feed pulled up, and as soon as we do go to the Oval Office, I will click over to that feed. I guess I could just keep it on this feed for right now. And if the audio is better on another one, I'll just, when this one goes live, we'll cut to that. Leave Arch Manning alone. You know, Bureau will cry. I mean, look, I like Arch Manning. I really hope Arch Manning turns out to be a really good college football quarterback, but the expectations they placed upon him before he started his first game or whatever, or took over a team for the first time is absolutely insane. So, transfer portal is leveling the playing field. It is, but I don't know. You guys says Trump is live right now. No, he's not. I'm watching Right Side Broadcasting right now. So, not live right now. Love you, Jeremy, but Bama sucks. I mean, Bama does suck. There's nothing I can say. I mean, and there's nobody that's going to feel sorry for Alabama, as you shouldn't. Bama just had the most dominant run in the history of college football. And now it's going to be back to the Mike Shula years now for a while. No, the NIL is making the most unlevel thing on the planet. I mean, between the NIL and the transfer portal, which Nick Saban has spoken with President Trump about this. Nick Saban clearly hates what college football has become. I hate what college football has become. And Saban has talked directly to President Trump about this, and President Trump has talked about getting involved in what's happening. So we'll see. We shall see. But that's why Saban walked away. He realized it was supposed to be a shit show because with the transfer portal, I mean, a player can just leave because a coach was mean to them at this point. That's ridiculous. LH72 says Alabama players wear nail polish. Well, I know of one does, but problem is that your transgender boyfriend / girlfriend LH also wears nail polish, and that's a personal problem that you have to deal with. So that's a lot worse than just that a team that I cheer for has a player that wears nail polish. You actually have a transgender boyfriend / girlfriend that wears it. So that is something you need to deal with more directly than me having a favorite team with a player that paints his nails. You know what I mean? So might want to worry about that one first. Zinni Biscuit says, Beamer versus Beamer was fun. VA Tech versus South Carolina. NFL sucks. College used to be fun to watch. At this point, hey, I will say this. Last night, I started watching the Dallas Cowboys special on Netflix. and I'm not a Cowboy fan. I'm not a Cowboy hater. I'm kind of indifferent to the Cowboys. But the first 3 episodes of that Cowboy special on Netflix is amazing because it brought me back to the 80s and the 90s of the 49ers and the Cowboys, and it's just so cool to watch that. So I would absolutely recommend that if you're just a football fan. You don't have to be a Cowboy fan, because I'm not. But it's the first 3 episodes are really freaking good. The Cowboys were good 30 years ago. Yeah, they've been pretty irrelevant for a while. Everything on TV is a psyop. I would agree with the majority of what you say, for sure. Jared Armstrong says Alabama player brings a stuffed dinosaur doll with him to the stadium. Alabama players are getting roasted right now, man. It's so funny. They deserve it after that performance, though. Currently waiting. See what happens. Right side's all right, here. What's right side saying?
Neely, right at 2:00. So good afternoon, America, and good morning to those on the Golden Coast out west. Thanks for tuning in for a presidential announcement by the 45th and 47th Commander-in-Chief just moments from now. Flu season is upon us now that the Labor Day week.
All right, nothing yet. So we're still waiting. Let's see if there's any updates on Twitter as we wait. Trump will start at 3 p.m. He might, knowing him. Oh, is this Alex Jones? Hang on. Wait, what is this? Is this real, or is this Alex Jones makes his first statement after Owen Shroyer quits Infowars to stage a publicity stunt for his new show?
It's like Anakin Skywalker's become our favorite.
Can we sing a song? Really?
Hey, when I go on the air, I'm letting you have it, Shroyer. You stabbed your brother in this operation in the back, and you're a fucking liar. Oh yeah, I mean, I agree.
I didn't realize how upset you were.
It's totally normal to go and do innuendo that you've been censored and controlled and got to go because you're talking bad about Trump and this stuff, and then later, hours later, go, oh no, he didn't censor me. All set up to boost himself off of lying about me. I don't ever get involved in infighting, but I've known somebody 10 years and they've been my friend, but he's gotten really dark, didn't talk to the crew the last 2 years. And so it's like a different person. I'm not here to be the villain for somebody's lie. So wait till you hear his phone call to me yesterday.
Oh,
he literally talked to me like
shit.
he was a crack whore. He was a pimp. He's like, yeah, well, if you're desperate, pay me more, I'll stay. But I'm going to promote my new show on Infowars, huh?
Let's
Yeah,
take the high road.
Really nice. I might do a week. I was like, man, this is really hurting my feelings, dude. No, it's all right. You don't have to come in. I hung up, started fucking crying, and then he goes on fucking air and lies about me. Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit. I won't fucking take people stabbing me in the back anymore. Fuck you. Get ready.
Business has picked up on the Owen Shroyer, Alex Jones feud. I think it's a work. I feel like it's a work. I don't know. Maybe I've watched way too much wrestling in my life, but I feel like this is 100% a work. I think this is WWE. That's what I think. I absolutely think that's WWE. And it's good. I'm not saying there's something wrong with that shit. I think it's awesome. Either way, it's entertaining. And that's all I'm looking for, is to be entertained. So bring it on. Bring it on. Okay, so waiting for President Trump. Let's see what they say.
Time and under budget, but really ahead of what they've been working on with targets right now in the peaceful and patriotic crosshairs, ending this pandemic of violence throughout our major cities.
If it is a work, I think that it's brilliant. I think it's fucking brilliant if it is. And on top of that, like, look who posted this. Alex Jones himself posted it. So it's like, it just, you know, I don't know, man. It feels like a work to me. What do you think, chat? What do you think? Give me your thoughts. He's been posting a lot about it today, says Jessica. Yeah. It's all a setup to promote Owen's new show. Owen, like Owen Shroyer. I thought you were talking about Candace Owens for a minute. Alex Jones totally has a financial stake in Owen's new show. Yeah, after 9 years, I just don't see those guys like falling apart like that. I just don't see it. Junker for $10 says Alex Jones is one with one hell of a promo there. Now that would get me to tune in to Monday Night Raw. That's where I'm at with it. I absolutely believe that. Listen, either way, we're going to get entertainment out of it. But I am definitely Chunk the Punk says just received my alligator Alcatraz shirt. Hell yeah, Chunk the Punk. Glad because you were one of them that were having trouble. So I'm glad you finally got it. But yeah, my money is on that. This is all a work for InfoWars, and I commend it, by the way. A 1992 space movie for 20 says, you may call me gay, but I like Coldplay's music. I've known all along that they say that they're soy as fuck, but I'm just there for the music. But you know who's more soy than Coldplay? Bama! They rolled off a cliff. WDE, which is War Damn Eagle. Look, I mean, Coldplay's got a couple of decent songs, for sure. I mean, it's just like anything. I like Green Day's music, and they're the gayest band on the planet. I mean, just to be clear, like almost all of your favorite musicians are super gay anyway. They just are. I mean, look at how deranged most of these rock stars are. They're all fucked up. So I ain't hating on you for that. Not at all. Fired Up Gaming says, at least the music's good. At least the music's good. Coldplay and Nickelback rule, says C21. We've had that discussion on Main Event. Like, everybody, like, it became an internet meme that everybody hates Nickelback or whatever, but everybody I knew back in the day was listening to Nickelback. Literally every fucking body was listening to them. Basket City says, hail D-Day Cobra in chat. The Under Armour Gamer says, I think they're both kind of J-tarded. I respect that. Creed is another one. There like a bunch of people like went through this kind of hatred of Creed. Dude, that fucking album, was it their first album, Creed's first album, with My Own Prison in it? What a awesome album. Like almost every song on that album was top tier. So good. But I remember there was like this big hate movement for a long time with Creed. Laughing Man, you're still waiting on some shirts? Keep me posted. Human Clay was their second one. Human Clay was when Creed kind of went more mainstream popular, if I'm not mistaken. It's been so long, so I might be misremembering, but I feel like Human Clay was when they went really mainstream. Creed, their first album, was more like, you know, it wasn't as mainstream. Official White House feed. Let me go to that one. The White House. Nirvana. I like Nirvana, but I don't like Nirvana as much as like a lot of other people. Like, I like them. Nirvana's good, but the White House doesn't even have a feed up right now. So if everybody hates Nickelback, Creed, and Aerosmith, why do they sell out stadiums? I make it make sense to me. I fucking love Aerosmith, by the way. I fucking love Aerosmith. I'm a huge fan of Aerosmith. Nirvana sucks. Nirvana was meh. Yeah, look, they're good. They got some good songs, but I felt like people just they just blew them up to be like this all-time great band because Kurt Cobain died or whatever. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it doesn't mean they're the greatest ever. The Horde says Def Leppard sucks. You shut your fucking mouth. Do not talk bad about Def Leppard in my fucking chat ever. I'll ban you, and I'll ban every family member and every fucking person you've interacted with on Twitter if you ever fucking disrespect Def Leppard. Jeeping Bailey says, apologies if I missed the announcement. But speaking of WWE, was there not a Clash in Paris pay-per-view stream in Raw last night? Beardo and X-Wing slacking. Yeah, they've just been, so I think Beardo's going to address it. But we've got some stuff going on with like park hopping that Beardo's having to help out on. So he's working out the schedule right now. So I will, I'll definitely let you guys, know as soon as we can get some more information on that. Jeremy loves K-pop. I can honestly say I don't. I listen, I might actually like K-pop if I could like tell the bands apart. Maybe it's just me, but all the K-pop bands look the same. Maybe that's just me. But it's like, if you see one K-pop band, you've seen them all. They all look and sound the same. I don't know if that's just me or what. There's a fucking bug flying around in here. Guns N' Roses are awesome. Pearl Jam. I like Pearl Jam. Duran Duran had a few good songs. No, like I saw a meme the other day. If I could find it. Let me see if I could find this meme. I know it's in my bookmarks. Let's see here. This is where I got that joke about the K-pop bands. Where's it at? I know I bookmarked this one. I had to, right? Yeah, right here. All right. I was going to show this to Phil on Tuesday night's main event. Oh, man. But yeah, Jeeping Baylor, we'll get you an update on that pretty soon. So, where are we at? John freaking Murdoch for 50 supercharged my iPhone one. Finally figured out how to send more than $1.99. The only live concert I've been to was Def Leppard. Fuck yeah, let's go. Hail to you, John freaking Murdoch. Appreciate you, brother. T-Mac Gaming says, Jeremy, all Asians look the same. I didn't say that. It's just a meme. East Coast Hosted Boy says, well, Tree Bear said Def Leppard sucks. Gerald Armstrong says, Jeremy is an L. Garbage guy. I don't even know what you're saying there. The Good White says, Something Wong. Zinni Biscuit says, I will fight over Def Leppard. Let's see you play drums with one arm and Union Jack drawers. Yeah, man. One-armed drummer. Piano Dean says, I'll tell you who's underrated. Collective Soul. People forget they had 7 #1 songs in the 90s. If you ever seen them in concert, you'd be a fan. I can only name one Collective Soul song. That's it. It was what? Shine? Isn't that the name of it? That's the only Collective Soul song that I can name. Come on. What's the wait here, man? Make sure we're live. I'm not missing anything. Smashing. Oh, I thought you were going to mention Smashing Pumpkins. You know, one of my favorite songs of all time is 1979 by the Smashing Pumpkins. That might arguably could be one. It's definitely one of my top 5 favorite songs. 1979 Smashing Pumpkins. What a fucking awesome song. What an awesome ass song. I only like 2 or 3 Smashing Pumpkin songs, period. But 1979 might be one of my favorite songs ever. It's certainly in the like top 5, top 10. Fucking love that song. But yeah, Smashing Pumpkins has like maybe 3 good songs. They have 1979, Disarm, Today, maybe a couple more, but not many others that I can think of. Third Eye Blind. Didn't they have like 1 song? Semi-Charmed Life or something like that. Like that's the only Third Eye Blind song I can name. Semi-Charmed Life. I think that's it. Chat's moving way too fucking fast. I can't. Chat's moving so fast I can't keep up. Oh my God. Yeah, I every time I want to read a comment, another comment comes in, and I'm overwhelmed by the chat at this point. The Offspring. I loved The Offspring back in the day. Stone Temple Pilots. Dude. Anytime I'm on a road trip, I have to listen to Interstate Love Song every fucking time. Like, that is such a fucking badass song. I love Stone Temple Pilots. Stone Temple Pilots is awesome. Vets Talking says, Korn and Limp Bizkit was my jam in high school. I have great shame. I didn't listen to Korn, but I definitely listened to Limp Bizkit. I was a fan of Limp Bizkit back in the day. Absolutely was. I was never a big fan of Korn, but definitely Limp Bizkit. I listened to Limp Bizkit a lot. Soundgarden? Fuck yes, Soundgarden. Soundgarden was awesome. Vic's World says Helldivers 2 with POD's song Boom. Mudvayne's new music in 16 years. Earshot's album coming soon. Limp Bizkit in the studio. New metal is making a comeback. Baby, America is becoming great again. I saw like a few years ago where like Limp Bizkit was they were at some music festival or something and they tore the house down. And I'm like, Fred Durst is still alive. Not only is Fred Durst still alive, he's crushing it right now. I was like, damn, I respect that. I can't remember what that was like. It was a few years ago. But yeah, like I'll never forget WrestleMania 17 with Stone Cold and The Rock. And they played Limp Bizkit, My Way. Dude, like you will never get. We peaked as humanity with the Stone Cold Rock promos with Limp Bizkit. It was amazing, dude. We peaked as humanity peaked at that point in time. That and when remember back when WWF did the Creed, whenever they would do the promo, the video promos for the wrestlers, and they would play Creed with it. Oh, dude, come on, man, so fucking good. Commodore fan says, overrated, money hungry. Metallica can go stuff it. Give me Megadeth all day. They sing about real shit and are based AF. Yeah, I mean, Metallica has definitely hurt themselves over the years for sure. So yeah, My Sacrifice from Creed. That was the song that they played over it. Metallica, man, Metallica had like back in the day, like when I was growing up, it was Guns N' Roses and Metallica. Those were the two bands that everybody kind of like compared each other to. And in my opinion, back in the day, at the peak of all of that, I still feel like Guns N' Roses was the more popular band out of the two. And I personally liked Guns N' Roses slightly more than Metallica at the peak. But yeah, over the years, I mean, GNR fell off and Metallica just kept doing their thing. But with all the stuff from like Napster and all of that, they lost a lot of credibility. Metallica was harder metal than GNR. Absolutely, absolutely, and that was probably why Guns N' Roses had more mainstream appeal, because they were a little less like, they weren't as metal as Metallica was. Jeremy the Cyborg says President Trump expanded no tax on tips to cover streamers and other online creators. Is that true? Don't say that. Don't say that, bro. Don't say that. Is that true? I haven't seen that news. Don't get my hopes up. So here we are. We're still waiting. I'm seeing if there's any updates or anything. We have no updates right now. I mean, Trump's kind of busy, so it takes him a little while to get going. Takes him a little while. Let's see. Sorry, I had something I had to deal with real quick. Simple Plan. I know like 2 songs from Simple Plan. I think maybe 2 songs. Whiskey Niner says Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains are peak 90s music. Hell yes. Deathu says Green Jelly sucks. Green Jelly. Green Jelly. Didn't Green Jelly have that one song about the 3 little pigs? I think. Right? Am I right about that? Yeah. I fucking love that song. Charlie for 5 says, check out Steelheart and their song Never Let You Go. Thank you, Charlie. Good to see you here, brother. Galo Kata says, New Order Bizarre Love Triangle. The video was claymation. It was. Matt Frog says Tim Pool is the best band of all time. Matt Frog, now you're just trolling, man. Now you're just trolling, brother. Piano Dean says the absolute best band in the last decade, in my opinion, is the Struts. They check all the boxes. Great songs, cool look, killer live show. Jeremy Cyborg says tagged you on Elon's platform. All right, I got to look this up. Oh, shit. Is this true? What? President Trump expanded no tax on tips to cover streamers and other online creators. Holy crap. Are you kidding me? We won. We won. We won. It's over. We won. I got to stop sharing my screen and reshare it here just for a minute because it says it lost audio. I don't know what that means. So let's see if we can get this back going. Tell me if you guys hear this really quick.
Can you believe how quick
Hear that?
this entire year has gone by? It's almost.
Do you hear that? Confirm to me that you heard that audio. Yes? Okay. So back to this. So this is freaking crazy. All right. So digital content creators produce and publish on digital platforms original entertainment or personality-driven content such as live streams, short-form videos, or podcast. We just won. We might actually be able to finally get this deal set up in Orlando now. We won. We won. Holy shit. I got to quote tweet this. So let me go back over to this. Boom. All right. Trump is truly the first gamer president. Absolutely. There's nothing else to say except we won. That's all I could say. We won. I have to retweet it from my CobraCast 199 now. That's insane. And all of you fucking losers, who sit there and said, Jeremy, Trump's not going to do anything. Nothing ever changes. Get fucked. Okay? Get fucked. And all of these streamers that talk shit about Trump are now going to be celebrating. They're all going to be claiming how much they love Trump because they're all fucking cowards. That's what's going to happen. All you people whining, saying Jeremy just never stops talking about Trump. Well, we have a reason. We have a reason. Steve Strange says Jeremy's Trump body pillow is going to get worked out tonight. The Bib says chat is soy, Pantera, Slayer, Megadeth, COC, BLS. Tinhead says, let's see. Wait, where'd it go? It moved on me. I agree. The whole tax situation is just absolutely insane, man. Lying Dogface Pony Soldier, thank you for the gifted membership. I appreciate it. Kate for 20 says Pearl Jam, Black, Creed, My Own Prison, Orgy, Blue Monday, Breaking Benjamin, Diary of Jane, Live, Pillar of Davidson, 9 Inch Nails, Head Like a Hole. Yeah, I remember, I've told this story before, but so whenever November Rain was out, and it was number one for like ever. November Rain was like number one for fucking ever, it felt like, on MTV's top 20, top 10. And I if I'm remembering correctly, Pearl Jam's Jeremy is the song that knocked it off of the number one ranking after all of those weeks. Like November Rain was number one forever. And I think it was Pearl Jam's Jeremy that dethroned Guns N' Roses. And all of my friends were just like, it took you, man. It was a big, back then we didn't have things called memes, but it was essentially was a meme. And I kind of got sick of the song, the Pearl Jam song, Jeremy, because everybody was just like, would reference me. Later in life, I came to appreciate a lot of Pearl Jam stuff, but Eddie Vedder is a fucking psycho anyway. Zevin Cross for 10 says, keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Yep, you know it. Man, Limp Bizkit was awesome back in the day. Matt Frog says, Jeremy, what color will your Bugatti be? I will not be buying more vehicles. I will not be buying more anything. I will be trying to put money back into Geeks and Gamers and take us to the next level. That's all I care about. So no more, nothing extra for me. I might buy a new G.I. Joe or two, but that's about it. Tinhead says, the Click Click Boom was my favorite childhood song. SB says, when I was 12, a bartender at a Barnacle Bill's in Tally talked me into buying Creed's album. This was before they hit big. Let's see, the bartender was Scott Stapp. What? The Cobra Throne. Listen, if we get everything set up in Orlando like I want, I'll buy the Cobra Throne. Oh, man, I'm way behind. Let's see. The Under Armour Gamer says, I like Three Doors Down, and I got to see them at a National Jamboree for the Boy Scouts. I saw them with all the members. I think 2 or 3 have sadly died. The lead singer for Three Doors Down is battling cancer right now, from what I understand. Amish Snorlax says, Ice to Earth has one of their members arrested during the J6 tour. Also, if you are into power metal, check out the band's Love Bites. And is it, I don't know, Hagain? Is that how you say it? Matt Frog says, how long before the left claims Trump is a clone? They've already claimed that. They've already claimed it. Ladybug says, I was driving home from work and I couldn't comment. I will not hear of Def Leppard. Blasphemy. Saw them with my dad a few years ago. Great concert. They're fucking awesome, man. Zenny Business Metallica was in my area May 7th at Virginia Tech. They rocked so hard they got the Richter scale, and some of Lane Stadium was damaged. Jeez. D-Day Direwolf says also check out Can't Stop Loving You by Steelheart. Kevin Spears says Maynard from Tool was the Pigs' voices. Warbeer says Deftones is the best band in the last 30 years. Scroats McGoat says my wife got pulled on stage by her ear at a Green Jelly show. She's still mad about it 14 years later. Commodore Fence says Henry Rollins' Rollins band is underrated awesome. Yeah, Henry Rollins is an interesting guy. So if you are hanging out with us, we are currently waiting for President Trump to go live. We don't know all the specifics of his announcement. He was supposed to go live about 30 minutes ago. But as you know, President Trump is kind of a busy guy. So we'll see how long it takes. Gunny Slate says Alabama went woke and now they're a joke. Go to T-Town and see yourself. Is it really that bad? Tuscaloosa, Alabama has gone woke. Really? That's disappointing if true. Although I will say, like, as much as I love Nick Saban, and I do, Nick Saban is the man. He's the greatest coach of all time. He totally bent the knee to Black Lives Matter. 100%. He bent the knee to Black Lives Matter. That happened. BC Man says, congrats, brother. Hail President Trump. Hashtag no tax on tips. Diane K. Lacey says 80s were crazy years. Texas World Fest Music Festival, 85 in Dallas, Deep Purple, Ted Nugent, Night Ranger, Scorpions, Bon Jovi, Grim Reaper, and Victory. Gray Ghost says, well, I guess you keep the lurker and Mossad shill tax. All the Mo Kids says, is the no tax on tips the first 25K? I believe that's what I remember from the original information. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at the specifics on it, so I'm not sure. Fear of FEMA says before Nipplegate, they played the song Jeremy unedited on LA radio stations. The Nation We Lost. Usage says Guar, Nuff said. Jared Armstrong says Bama is number 21 in the AP poll. Honestly, probably too high. Probably too high. Matt Frog says Bureau can now afford a bronzer for Bro Island. Bro Island. Mr. Scott for 10 says, Jeremy, please don't get your hopes up. There's a lot of stipulations and provisions with the no tax on tips law. You may make too much to qualify. Look into it further. Creed and Metallica are gay. Yeah, that there could be on that. We'll see. Phoenix says the Fred Durst conversation reminds me of a high school friend who would remind me every week that Fred Durst is from Jacksonville, Florida, and grew up somewhere near Monument Road. Beardo is 20, not Beardo. Bama is 21, not 20. Your horns fell to 9. Let's see. Trying to read the chat. The chat's been moving super fast with the music conversation, which is awesome. Valiant Renegade says, yeah, but LSU is number 3 now, so there's that. What's up, Valiant Renegade in the house? Has Trump spoken yet? No, he has not. He has not gone live yet. We are currently waiting for him to go live right now. Let me... Ole Miss is number 20. All right, let me see what they're saying on social media really quick. Okay, this has got to be... All right, so while we're waiting, we got Alex Jones talking about Owen Shroyer again. I still, before hearing this clip, I still believe that this is a work.
I mean, I've got, and we're checking with lawyers right now, but I've got his tax, filings. I've got what he's paid. I've got everything here. Said he hadn't had a raise since 2018. Since 2018, he's had multiple raises of $80,000 on top of what he was paid before, and huge bonuses. Have it all right here. That's just one example. Who do these people think they are? So, Owen, tell us again, you hadn't had a raise since 2018? Is $80,000 increase in 3 different raises? Is that a $80,000 on top of what you're getting paid? Tell people what you are paid? You got the clips? How about telling people about the bonuses or the Hellcat I gave you just as a friend? Here, have my Hellcat. It was worth about $60,000 when I gave it to you. It was $85,000 when I bought it. Oh, yeah. Tell me, Owen, about how bad I am again. So if somebody will lie about people he said was his friend for 10 years like that, and so nakedly, that's a really nice person. And the flat out lie that I haven't had a raise since 2018. Well, hold on. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me check that. Huh. Well, like how do I say I haven't gotten a raise? How do I act like I don't make any money? I'll just say it and then go, maybe I got to check that. I got to check that.
I still just believe this is a work. I think this is a work, and I think it's awesome, but I just don't buy that this is real. Just don't believe it. So we're currently waiting right now. I got the live feed pulled up. We have nothing on the Fox News feed. We have nothing on the right side feed. I don't see a White House feed yet. So we're still keeping our eyes open, waiting for Trump to go live. We got nothing yet. Just so you know, we have waiting for the event to begin right here. So I'll keep it there for people that are continuing to ask questions. Oh man, this whole thing with Alex Jones is hilarious, and I give him credit because I am completely invested now because they're giving me a more believable storyline than current WWE does, and that's the best part of it. Is I have to question if it's real or not, which is what wrestling used to do. Now I don't believe anything is real in wrestling. Like literally, like there used to be storylines mixed in with the script where you're like, oh man, there's some real beef there. There's some real beef. Oh man, they really don't like each other. You don't think that at all anymore since TKO has taken over. You don't believe anything from WWE. It's all overly produced bullshit. Really bad. But I'm not. So, hey, since we do have more people that are tuning in, I would just like to show you guys once again Tim Walz. Tim Walz stood up on stage and basically said he wants Donald Trump to wake up to the news that Donald Trump is dead. Now, as you know, the rumors for the past few weeks or the few days, the left has been pushing these rumors that Donald Trump had passed away, that Donald Trump had a stroke, all of that. Well, listen to what Tim Walz says right here.
You get up in the morning and you doom scroll through things. And although I will say this, the last few days you woke up thinking there might be news. Just saying. There will be news sometime. Just so you know, there will be news. You get up in the morning and
absolutely unhinged behavior from these people. So that's the Democrats. That's why they've lost so much traction recently, and they will continue to do that. White House just went live. I don't think they have a feed yet, though. Okay, White House does have a live feed now. Let's see here. Yep, okay, White House is now live. So let's see. Go to that one. Okay. John freaking Murdoch for 20 says earlier I meant super chatted, not supercharged. Stupid autocorrect. It's all good, man. It's all good, brother. Thank you so much. Commodore fan says TCU versus NC State last night was wild. Well, you mean North Carolina, not North Carolina State, but was wild last night. F Belichick. Yeah, Belichick looking pretty bad after that one. Rye the guy says, I'm calling it now. Alex versus Owen in a Hell in the Cell match at WrestleMania next year. Let's freaking go. Lord Balthus says Alex is the Vince McMahon of political podcasting. Scroats McGoat says Fred Durst is from Gastonia, North Carolina. Gaston County is why we have Limp Bizkit. So is he from North Carolina or Florida? I'm confused. Commodore fan says also LSU versus Clemson. What the fuck happened? I mean, listen, I picked Clemson to win that game, but I'm glad the SEC won because I don't like Clemson because I don't like Dabo Sweeney. Default says, as long as we're waiting around to talk and talking music, I recommend the band Geese. Their album 3D Country is some of the best rock I've heard in a while. There you go, chat. David Phillips for 20 says, let's hear it for Do-Rag Alex. I mean, you might as well. We might as well get some real WWE out of Infowars since we can't get it from TKO. Sneaky, is it Singy? Says, I don't know, man. Spent 4 hours last night listening to Owen get into all of it. Only a Jim Cornette or an Arn Anderson can keep kayfabe like that. Yeah, I mean, he did do a 5-hour stream. I will say that. Owen Shroyer did a 5-hour stream last night. I didn't watch any of it except for the highlights. But that would be the only thing that you could battle against it being a work. You know. Andy Plays Game says, I love Aerosmith too. My favorite lyric, that buzz that you be getting from the crack last night. I'd rather be OD'd in the crack of her ass. Yeah, dude, Aerosmith's awesome. Aerosmith was relevant for like, what? How many decades was Aerosmith relevant? It was crazy, man. Alex is adding fuel to the fire. I mean, I'm here for it, man. I just want to be entertained at this point. I don't really. With a lot of how Alex and Owen have been kind of going about stuff lately, I can't say that I'm always going to have loyalty to Alex just in general for everything he's done. But I think they've both been kind of talking crazy lately. So. But Owen specifically calling Trump George W. Bush, I thought was absolutely ridiculous. Greg Kirby says Trump should troll the left saying he's dead. Rob says, as far as Jones Shroyer dust up being a work, who would benefit? Infowars would benefit. Because... So in theory of it being a work and not a shoot, if it's a work and Owen has a new show that Alex and Infowars have a kind of a vested interest in, that's where the benefit comes from. Matt Frog says, Jubilee should have you on 1 BVS hater versus 20 BVS fans. Well, the problem is you would have to find 20 BVS fans, and I don't know if there's 20 fans of that dog shit movie to begin with. So there's that. You know what I mean? Thoughts on GNR Revolution X video game? I don't even know anything about it. I don't even know anything about that one. BVS overhated? I think it's underhated. I think we could hate it more. It'd be Mike Beardo and 18 chairs. You looking forward to Battlefield 6? Absolutely. Yes, I will be getting Battlefield 6 when it drops, and I'll be playing it on my D-Day Cobra gaming channel for sure. That will happen. This feels like waiting for FNT. President Trump says he's very disappointed in Vladimir Putin. Where the fuck is he saying this at? I'm just looking at like, where is he saying this at? Did he send a press release out or something? Streamers are going to ruin Battlefield. Maybe. I mean, you know, streamers typically ruin everything, so. Nothing yet. He's still not live, so this is a live feed of the White House. Yeah, I know Trump is announcing he's moving Space Command to Alabama. I know that. I've heard that one, but there's going to be more to it, I would assume. Jeremy, Mario Kart World live stream tonight? Probably not. Because we obviously have Tuesday night's main event, but I have to be up very, very early in the morning to take my mom to the doctor. So here we go.
With great friends of mine, I think I can say this group is every one of them. I rate a 10. From this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama. We love Alabama. I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision, though, right? That didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it. Huntsville in particular. So congratulations, everybody. Katie, congratulations. This will result in more than 30,000 Alabama jobs and probably much more than that, and hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. And that's billions, because it can't be millions. It's billions and billions of dollars. Most importantly, this decision will help America defend and dominate the high frontier, as they call it. I want to thank Secretary Pete Hegseth. He's doing a fantastic job. And Secretary of the Air Force, Troy Mink. Troy, thank you very much. Great job you're doing, Troy. This is such a big deal. This is one that everybody wanted to know. What are you doing? I also want to thank Senators Katie Britt, and I want to give my condolences. Your grandmother, her grandmother just passed away. She was 100, right?
100, and she loves you, Mr. President.
Well, and she was very proud of you.
Thank you very much.
Very, very proud of you. So thank you, Katie.
Wonderful woman.
She must have been. To produce you indirectly, I can tell you she had to be. Tommy Tuberville, who's a great coach. And I won't say anything about what happened with Alabama football this weekend.
Let's leave that up.
But you're not used to that, right? You're not used to that. But Tommy
Tuberville Tommy Tuberville coach for Auburn. Prez.
Tommy's been a great senator, and fantastic guy all
Trump.
around. He was also a tremendous coach. House Armed Services Committee Chair Mike Rogers. Thank you, Mike. With Mike. Mike, thank you very much. Doing great, Mike. Representatives Barry Moore, all great friends, Robert Adderholt, Gary Palmer, and Dale Strong. Thank you all very much, fellas. Appreciate it. In my first term, I created a thing called Space Force. So important. We were losing the race in space very badly to China and to Russia. And now we're far and away number one in space. And reestablish Space Com with a mission to protect American space assets and detect any threat to our homeland. We initially selected Huntsville for the Space Com headquarters, yet those plans were wrongfully obstructed by the Biden administration. And as you know, they moved them to a different locale. And today we're moving forward with what we want to do and the place that we want to have this. And this will be there for hopefully hundreds of years. That's where it's going to be. I will say I want to thank Colorado. The problem I have with Colorado, one of the big problems, they do mail-in voting. They went to all mail-in voting. So they have automatically crooked elections. And we can't have that. When a state is for mail-in voting, that means they want dishonest elections, because that's what that means. So that played a big factor also. In Huntsville, Space Com will play a key role in building the Golden Dome, as you know. That's going to be a big thing. Everybody wants to be a participant in it. Missile Defense Shield, we're going to be having a Golden Dome that the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. The finest, the best. And by the way, Canada called. They want to be a part of it, and that'll be great. But Canada wants very much to be included in that, and we're going to work something out with them, I hope. It will also ensure that our technological capabilities, of which we're way ahead of anybody else, there's nobody close, remain unmatched long into the future. So I'd like to ask Secretary Hegseth to say a few words. He was very much a part of it. And really, everybody behind me was. Every one of these people would call me and lobby me. I said, Katie, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I know what you want. She said, that's right, sir. That's what I want. And they got their way. So I just want to congratulate. These are really special people. They're politicians in many ways, but they're great patriots. I think even more so than politicians. So they fought very hard to get it, and it's an honor to give it to Huntsville. Pete, say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As usual, right place, right time for the right reason. In your first administration, you established the Space Force at a time when we knew we had to be looking to that domain of space. You also reestablished SpaceCom to ensure that priority was put in place, and you, through the Air Force, independently identified that Huntsville, Alabama was the right place to put it. For other reasons, in the next administration under Biden, they decided to move it somewhere else. Well, during that time, the DoD Inspector General, the Government Affairs Office, they did their own assessments, and where did they say SpaceCom should go? Huntsville, Alabama. So what you're doing today, Mr. President, is restoring it to precisely where it should be based on what the Space Force, the Air Force, your leadership believes will give us strategic advantage in the future. That is Huntsville, Alabama. We are way ahead in space, but this will ensure we stay leaps and bounds ahead because that's the most important domain. Whoever controls the skies will control the future of warfare. And Mr. President, today you're ensuring that happens. Thank you.
Thank you.
Are grateful for your leadership on this and restoring Space Command to its rightful home in Huntsville, Alabama. This delegation has worked together, both chambers, both parties, to make sure that Huntsville was the place that Space Command called home. As was mentioned, obviously the Biden administration chose to make this political. What we want to do is put the safety and security of Americans first. We want to make sure that our war fighter is put first, and we want to make sure that America continues to lead. And today, Mr. President, you've allowed that to happen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Tommy, please.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. This is a great day for our country, not just for our state of Alabama. We need help in our military. We need to catch up. And as Secretary has said, we're not behind in space, but we know where we're at, and we need to expound on that. Now, this move will save the taxpayers $480 million. It's not going to cost more. It's going to cut $480 million. We have the plans intact. It'll be behind a secure wall in Huntsville, Alabama, at Redstone Arsenal. We have 40,000 people there. We have the FBI there. We have missile defense there. We have NASA, Blue Origin, and SpaceX. It is the perfect place for Space Command. I would tell you today, and I've spoke with the president for the last 3 or 4 years about this. If I thought it needed to go somewhere else because I understand the security of our country, I'd be for that. But the best place for Space Command is Huntsville, Alabama, because what we have and what it means to this country is going to be so important. So thank you, Mr. President, for this. And we look forward to building a huge Space Command and having the Donald J. Trump Space Command Center in Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Trump's excited. His name's going to be on it.
I'll be very brief here. I lobbied the president hard to put it in Ohio, but he said these people behind us, these Alabamas, are just too powerful and too persuasive. And so it's in Alabama. But as Tommy said, this is exactly the right place for Space Force and Space Command. I think Americans ought to appreciate the fact that you can't win the battle of the future unless you control the skies. The cyber security, the communications, the entire infrastructure of the battle in the 21st century will be in space. So it was a visionary move in the first administration for the president to set up Space Force. And I think an equally visionary move to make sure that Space Force is right where it should be in Huntsville, Alabama. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, anybody want to say anything? Would you like to say?
Mr. President, another promise made, another promise kept. You think about it, Redstone Arsenal is critical to national security. The president said when you were the 45th president, let's do what's right for national security. And today, that's exactly what we're doing. It's not because of this or that. It's because it's right for national security. You think of the 21 categories that were evaluated to determine what was best for national security. All indicators pointed back to Huntsville, Alabama, and Redstone Arsenal. We have the right people at the right place at the right time. Mr. President, on behalf of the people of the 5th Congressional District and all of Alabama, thank you for keeping your word. Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Anybody?
Let me just say, Mr. President, I want to say thank you And thank you for doing this because it was the right thing to do. All the when they looked at all the numbers, Huntsville was the place to go. And like you say, it was unfortunately pulled out, but you made it right. So I want to just say thank you again for a grateful nation, and to the state of Alabama. We're very grateful. Thank you and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Throughout history, militaries has always understood that whoever could hold the high ground held the advantage. Space is the ultimate high ground. And what we're doing with moving the Space Command to Huntsville is absolutely critical to our maintaining dominance in that sphere. And it goes hand in hand with what we're trying to do with the Golden Dome and missile defense to defend against anyone else who tries to enter that sphere. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President. And obviously, national defense is a huge issue. And when you look at the scores, Alabama was #1. And for political reasons, it was moved out of our state. But, Mr. President, thank you for making priorities the defense and the warfighter and the safety of this nation. And in the big, beautiful bill, that Golden Dome will be built in Huntsville, Alabama, and we're grateful for that. Thank you.
Listen, as chairman of the Armed Services Committee, I care very much about what's most important for our national security. And the president held a nationwide competition to determine where we should have this command. If y'all remember, at the end of that competition, where Alabama came in first, there was a lot of complaints from the other states who did not place well. He said, we'll do it over with new criteria to accommodate your concerns. Alabama came in first in that second competition. His Secretary of the
Chat
Air Force
is
reviewed
amazing.
the results, said it was fair, and the president named Huntsville. It was the Biden administration that decided to make it political, even though his own Secretary of the Air Force said it was a fair competition and it should be in Huntsville. So I want you to know I appreciate this president standing up and being strong and saying he's going to make this right and put it where it rightfully belongs. That's Huntsville, Alabama.
Thank you very much. Good job. So thank you all very much. You are going to leave me alone now. You're not going to call me anymore and talk about this subject, right? You promise? They'll start something else. But I just want to congratulate you. It's a very big deal. When you come out and when you leave the room, you'll see that we just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat. And you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago. And our great general, head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who's been so incredible, including what took place in Iran, knocking out potential nuclear power for a long time to come. I think within a month they would have had it. We didn't do what we did. But he gave us a little bit of a briefing, and you'll see. And there's more where that came from. We have a lot of drugs pouring into our country, coming in for a long time. And we just, these came out of Venezuela and coming out very heavily from Venezuela. A lot of things are coming out of Venezuela. So we took it out, and you'll get to see that after this meeting is over. Do you have any questions, please? Yeah, please.
Senator Cumberland talked about the cost savings
Yeah.
associated with this announcement. Can you talk about the strategic benefits by having Space Force Command headquartered in Huntsville?
Well, it just works because we have so much else there. And having a central, you could call it a central command, but it really is a command station. Also, even locationally, where it is, and when you think about flying distances, if you can save a half an hour as fast as some of these planes go and things go, and even the rockets go, if you can save by having the best location. So we went out, as you know, to experts, and we had 4 different groups of experts. They all said this was the best location. I also loved it from the standpoint, I know the people of Alabama, they are great people, work hard, and there's no games, and they're very proud of it. And I would say they fought harder for it than anybody else also. A lot of states, 5 states really wanted it, but they wanted it more. And I kid you not when I say that these people, they spoke to me a lot. That's all they wanted to talk about. They didn't want to talk about the weather. They only wanted to talk about moving to this location, moving to Alabama, Huntsville in particular. So we're honored to do it. They really wanted it badly, and they got it. Peter?
President Trump, something completely different, but about a big viral social media trend over the weekend. How did you find out over the weekend that you were dead? You see that?
No.
People didn't see you for a couple days. 1.3 million user engagements as of Saturday morning about your demise.
Really? I didn't see that. You know, I have heard, it's sort of crazy, but last week I did numerous news conferences, all successful. They went very well, like this is going very well. And then I didn't do any for 2 days, and they said, there must be something wrong with him. Biden wouldn't do them for months. You wouldn't see him. And nobody ever said there was ever anything wrong with him, and we know he wasn't in the greatest of shape. No, I heard that. I get reports. Now, you knew I did an interview that lasted for about an hour and a half with somebody, and everybody saw that was on one of your competitors. I did numerous shows and also did a number of truths, long truths, I think pretty poignant truths. No, I was very active over the weekend. They also knew I went out to visit some people at the club that I own pretty nearby on the Potomac River. And no, I've been very active actually over the weekend. I didn't hear that one. That's pretty serious stuff. Well, it's fake news. You know, it's just it's so fake. That's why the media has so little credibility. I knew they were saying like, is he okay? How's he feeling? What's wrong? I said, I just left. And it's also sort of a longer weekend, you know, it's Labor Day weekend. So I would say a lot of people know I was very active this Labor Day. I had heard that, but I didn't hear it to that extent. Go ahead, Peter.
We know that this country has a huge problem with school shootings. You've said that you're open to sending the National Guard pretty much anywhere. Would you ever consider sending an armed National Guardsman to every school?
Well, we have a big problem with school shootings.
That's what I've been
but we
saying.
also have thousands and thousands of schools that run perfectly. You know, they talk about you can do things construction-wise, and that's really I think nobody knows more about construction than me. You can build the construction doors. You can build what they call safety doors, where they lock on the outside, the inside, and every place else. Well, but if one of these lunatics happens to get through, then the police can't get in. Then they're looking for keys all over the place, and it takes a lot of disadvantages to doing, spending billions and billions of dollars and actually making it safer in some way for some of these lunatics that we're dealing with. But I don't think so. I've thrown out the concept. We have great teachers that love our children. The parents love the children. Teachers love the children too. And if you took a small percentage of those teachers that were in the military, that were distinguished in the military, that were in the National Guard, et cetera, and you let them carry, that's something that a lot of people like. I sort of liked it.
I'm okay with that.
Studied,
yes.
They're trained. They know about weapons. You can't do it with every teacher because most teachers don't know. And, but I always thought that would be an alternative. But it just, we've had a lot of instances. Other countries have also. They have different kinds of problems than we have, but we do have. There's something going on. And it's a bad thing. Yes, please.
Have you spoken with President Putin in the past week? Have you spoken with President Putin? In the
Yeah,
past
I don't want to. I have learned things that will be very interesting. I think in the next few days you'll find out.
Consequences if there isn't some type of announcement of a meeting with President Putin and President Zelensky?
Yeah,
and what could those consequences
We're going to
be?
see what happens. We're going to see what they do and what happens. I'm watching it very closely. Last week, they lost 7,000 between the two countries, 7,313.
He asked about Putin and Russia and Ukraine.
For no reason whatsoever. And they're Russian and they're Ukrainian, but, they're soldiers. I want to see it end. Yeah.
Have you decided you're definitely going to send National Guard troops to Chicago?
I didn't say when, but the answer is, look, Chicago's very interesting because I watched Pritzker get up and say we don't need help, we're safe. But 2 weeks ago, they had 6 people murdered, and they had 24 people hit by bullets. Last week, as you know, it was 7 people, 24 people hit, and 7 people died. And then over the last 2 days, that was the crown jewel. They had, I guess, 9 or 10 killed, and 50 hit with bullets. And you have this governor get up, who's a terrible governor. Probably he and Gavin Newsom would be probably the 2 worst and most naive They're naive. Either they're naive or they're very untruthful. And he'll say, we don't want any protection. We don't need. So in the last 3 weeks, he's lost almost 20 people killed. There's no place in the world, including you can go to Afghanistan, you can go to places that you would think of. They don't even come close to this. Chicago is a hellhole right now. Baltimore is a hellhole right now. Parts of Los Angeles are terrible. If we didn't put out the fires, and I mean the other fires, the bullet fires, they didn't do a good job with it. They should have had the water coming down, like I said. You know, we had to release the water. We had to go in and release the water to LA. It's so badly run. But if I didn't send the National Guard into Los Angeles, I would be making an announcement today. I'd be talking about Huntsville, and I'd simultaneously be saying, by the way, the Olympics is not coming to Los Angeles. If we didn't do that, and even the sheriff, the top law enforcement person in Los Angeles said, we could not have handled it without them. So that's what he said.
Make your mind up on Chicago, though?
Well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in. When you lose, look, I have an obligation. This isn't a political thing. I have an obligation. When we lose, when 20 people are killed over the last 2.5 weeks, and 75 are shot with bullets. So let me tell you a little story about a place called DC, District of Columbia, right here where we are. It's now a safe zone. We have no crime. It's in such great shape. You can go and actually walk with your children, your wife, your husband. You can walk right down the middle of the street. You're not going to be shot, Peter. You're safe. Everyone likes you anyway. They probably wouldn't do it. But it's so dangerous. And there are people in this audience that you've suffered greatly. There are people in this audience that have been mugged and hurt badly, and they don't want to talk about it. Maybe you were very brave in talking about it. You made quite an impression on a lot of people. I appreciate it. But there were other people in this room that have been hurt very badly just walking down the street in D.C. Washington, D.C. is a safe zone right now. It's a safe city. The restaurants are open. They're booming. You can't get a restaurant. New restaurants are announcing that they're going to be open. This took place in 12 days. Now it's 15 days, but 3 days ago, it became what's known as a safe zone. It's a safe city. And this city was really bad, really, really bad. We took 1,600 people out, hardcore criminals that will not be coming back anytime soon. And we're very proud of it. You know, to have our nation's capital lose every week, you know, it was like years, many years where every single week somebody was killed for many, many, many consecutive weeks. This went on for years. And then we had last week, it was announced that nobody was killed last week. And I made that announcement in front of a very distinguished leader of a country. And I'm saying proudly, ladies and gentlemen, nobody was killed in Washington, D.C. this week. He looked at me like, what's that all about? I say, yeah, we have a little bit of a crime problem, and we don't have a crime problem in Washington anymore. And the mayor has been very helpful, and the police commission has been very helpful, and it's been a great team. And I would love to have Governor Pritzker call me. I gain respect for him and say, we do have a problem, and we'd love you to send in the troops, because you know what? The people, they have to be protected. I saw today on one of your networks, not a friendly network, except really the opposite, I would say, very unfriendly network. And they interviewed about 12 people on this morning. Most of them were African-American, who were Black. And they were saying, please, please, please let the president send in. These were people from Chicago. Please, we need help. We need help. We can't walk outside. We're petrified. If the governor of Illinois would call me up, I would love to do it. Now, we're going to do it anyway. We have the right to do it because I have an obligation to protect this country. And that includes Baltimore. I saw where Governor Moore was asking me to take a walk down the street of Baltimore. Well, Baltimore is a very unsafe place. It's rated number 4 in the city, one of the most unsafe places anywhere in the world. But, you know, we took care. This was a beautiful thing that happened in Washington because we showed that it could be done. And this wasn't just sending big, strong guys, and they are big and they are strong. You know, we had a great decision from the Supreme Court that had to do with sort of talent. It had to do with you are put down based on merit. You can hire based on merit. So merit for a soldier or for a policeman is strong, physically fit, something, you know, having a certain ability, not a person that is woke and got the job through woke, but wasn't strong enough to lift a gun out of the holster, et cetera, et cetera. No, I looked at the police. As you know, last week I went over, we had a meeting with, there had to be 300 people, and they were all very impressive looking. And when the bad guys see them, they're not going to do a thing. And so I'm very proud of Washington. It serves as a template, and we're going to do it elsewhere. But Chicago is certainly going to be high. I would love to have him call. I would love the governor of Illinois. I'd be honored to take his call. All he has to do is say, sir, we need help. It's out of control. And everyone knows it is. He's not kidding anyone. I would love to have, I would say, Governor Moore call, because I watched him over the weekend trying to explain that Baltimore, what they need is housing. No, they don't need housing. They need to get rid of the criminals. These are hardcore criminals. You know, we took many people off the streets of Washington, D.C. They're hardcore. They're not going to be good. In 10 years, in 20 years, in 2 years, they're going to be criminals. They were born to be criminals, frankly. They were born to be criminals, and they're tough and mean, and they'll cut your throat, and they won't even think about it the next day. They won't even remember that they did it. And we're not going to have those people. Washington, D.C. is now a safe zone. It's a safe place. And you can walk, Katie, you can walk right down the street with, by the way, one of the biggest human beings I've ever seen, which is her husband. He was a football player for like 11 years in the NFL. He's a big person. But big doesn't mean anything when they have guns and when they have knives and everything else that they have, right? But you can walk right down the street, even by yourself, and you're totally safe. Washington, D.C. is a great thing. Yes, ma'am, please.
Calling on Democratic leaders across the country to work with you on crime. Do you see your efforts here in D.C., including, for example, working with Mayor Bowser here as a model for bringing more bipartisanship in matters not only with crime, but also issues that matter to everyday American people's lives?
So Mayor Bowser's been great. She could have taken the thing, oh, well, and then after I clean it up, they'll take credit for it. You know what they do is they take credit. Like, we cleaned up Los Angeles. We did a great job there. And it was overwhelming what was going on. And again, the police chief made a statement that we could not have done, there's no way they could handle it. You saw what was happening out there. It was going to be a disaster. We stopped it cold. If we didn't do that, would have been a very sad day. And you know, remember, we have the Olympics, we have the World Cup, we have all these things coming, and we have 250, all of these things coming. But I watched Newsom get up and say he's doing a great. He's not. We're the ones that did it, and that's okay, whatever it takes. But the main thing is we. But he got up and said we did it. Well, he didn't want us there, and he's going to need us again because it's starting to form again. I see it. It's starting to form again. You know, we have to maintain. It's like maintenance on an airplane. You can buy it, but you have to maintain it. And if you don't maintain it, a good plane becomes very unsafe very quickly. So it's an honor to do it. It's a lot of presidents wouldn't do what I'm doing. I don't need this heat. But when I watched television last night and I'm watching the news and I see that 9 people were killed in Chicago and 54 were badly wounded with bullets, I say, that's not this country. We have to do something. And I do say this, I say this very much. I'm not speaking to anybody but them right now. I would love to receive calls from governors and mayors saying they need help. We'll help them. We have a lot of people. We have a great force. We have a great military force. You know, Pete will tell you that when I was running for office, and this was a big headline, I think, you know, probably got me a couple of votes, but you couldn't sign people in the military. Nobody wanted to join the military, the Army, Air Force, the Navy, Marines, Space Force, Coast Guard. We never forget Coast Guard because they've done such a great job. Never. But nobody wanted to join any of them. We were way below what we wanted. Every single one. The closest was the Marines, whatever that is. You'll explain that to me. But the closest was the Marines. But every service was way down, way down. And then I got elected, and our country's the hottest country anywhere in the world right now. Everybody's talking about the USA. They're talking about the job that we're doing. Everybody, we have the best economy. We have a very, very important decision being made by the Supreme Court because our country is the richest, the strongest, the most powerful. But if for some reason, some liberal court, I'm talking about the court that just ruled, where even an Obama judge voted in favor of us, which I gave him a compliment yesterday, as you know. I said that took great courage. But it's a liberal court, and it's going up to the Supreme Court, who I think have been incredible people. I think they've made very wise decisions. But the tariff question, because without the tariffs, this country is in serious, serious trouble. We've taken in almost $17 trillion of investment is coming in. Most of it is coming because of tariffs. And if for some reason somebody wanted to be politically correct, I actually think it's unpolitically correct. I think politically correct is to approve it because there's nothing so popular as what's happened to our country. Our country is doing so well. But we had a liberal court gave us a very shocking ruling. And that ruling is basically saying that the trillions of dollars that are pouring into our country, putting us in a position like no country is anywhere in the world, that they'd like to see us that taken away. By the way, a lot of the people behind that lawsuit, that particular, are from foreign countries, I might add.
There's a video that is circulating online now of the White House where a window is open to the residents upstairs and somebody is throwing a big bag out the window. Have you seen this?
No, that's probably AI generated.
So
Actually, you can't open the windows. You know why? They're all heavily armored and bulletproof.
a fake video.
Well, it's got to be because I know every window up there. The last place I'd be doing it is that because there's cameras all over the place, right? Including yours. No, but every window, I've never seen a window that's, in fact, my wife was complaining about it the other day. She said, love to have a little fresh air come in, but you can't. They're bulletproof. And number one, they're sealed. And number two, each window weighs about 600 pounds. You have to be pretty strong to open them up. No, that has to be, where was the window? Let me see.
What a legend. Bring me the phone. Trump is one of one.
This is on the 15th.
One of one.
Yeah, those windows are sealed. Those windows are they're all sealed. You can't open them. It's the kind of thing they do. And one of the problems we have with AI, it's both good and bad. If something happens really bad, just blame AI. But also they create things, you know, it works both ways. If something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI. But there's truth to it because I see so many phony things. I saw something as I was growing up from the time I was a baby till now. I said, who did that? It was AI generated. So it's a little bit scary, to be honest with you. But those windows are all very heavily sealed.
Thank you, Mr. President. I follow up with what you were saying regarding that federal appellate court that ruled against you and your administration as it relates to your ability.
Well, they ruled against our country, the court, and they ruled against us before. It's a very liberal court.
You called it highly partisan in your
Well, it
social
certainly
media
is. It certainly
and in
is.
fact, it was along ideological lines, 7-4.
Well, except that we actually got one of the Obama judges that was appointed by President Obama voted in favor of the tariffs because he felt it was imperative for our country to thrive and survive even. And I gave him credit. I said, you know what? That took a lot of courage for him to do it because you don't see that often.
So my question is, I suspect you're going to appeal that all the way to the Supreme Court.
Well, we already have. Yeah. In fact, we're doing something else. We're going to be going to the Supreme Court, we think tomorrow, because we need an early decision. I mean, look, the financial fabric of our country, we're a rich, incredible country right now. And we're able to, you know, other countries use tariffs on us for years, and we never did. I did a lot during my first term, but then we had COVID and we had to focus on other things. You couldn't be tariffing Italy, Spain, France, as they were dying by the thousands and millions. But we did with China, and China paid us billions and billions of dollars. And I started the process, but then I had to end it a little bit because of COVID. We focused on that. But no, it's a very important decision. And frankly, if they make the wrong decision, it would be a devastation for our country. We've taken in trillions of dollars. And by the way, all these countries signed agreements. As an example, they're all happy. Everybody's happy. But some whack job put in a lawsuit. It went before a very liberal court, and the liberal court ruled, it was 11, they ruled 7-4, with one of the most liberal of them all voting in our favor because they're patriots. I think I give tremendous credit to that judge. And now it's going to the Supreme Court. Now we're going to be asking for early admittance. We're going tomorrow, and we're going to ask for an expedited ruling because, when you look at the stock market's down today, the stock market's down because of that, because the stock market needs the tariffs. They want the tariffs. If you look at AI, all of those, all of that money that's going to be invested, trillions and trillions of dollars, the biggest thing, bigger than the internet, I suspect. It's the internet plus 3 or 4 other things combined. We are leading very substantially with AI. We're leading because of tariffs. We're leading because of talent, and this is where they'd like to be. But without the tariffs, we wouldn't have a chance because we wouldn't be able to protect those investments of the companies coming in. So if you took away tariffs, we could end up being a third world country. That's how big the ruling. So we're asking for an expedited ruling.
As a backstop to that, President, you have a Republican-controlled Congress. You control the House. You control the Senate.
Yeah, but we don't have 60 votes. We don't have 60 votes. I'd love to do that. Oh, if we had 60 senators, if we got the 60 votes, we would get them. But we need 60 votes, and we need a certain number in the House. I think we'd get. I don't know. We have about 5 of them here. Would everybody agree with me on tariffs? Without tariffs, we're a different country. We have taken in so much money. And here's the thing. We signed a deal with Japan. They're paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. We signed a deal with South Korea. We signed a deal with the European Union. We signed a deal with Europe. And those countries are paying us $950 billion. And they're happy about it. They're okay. As one of them said, it's amazing that we got away with it so long. One of my friends, a leader of one of the countries, and they're fine with it. They all signed. If that ruling ever went against us, I guess we'd have to give back hundreds of billions. We would have to give trillions and trillions of dollars back to countries that have been ripping us off for the last 35 years. And I can't imagine it happening. On a legal basis, they have no legal basis whatsoever. But on a common sense basis, it would destroy America. Okay.
You talked about controlling the sky. On Sunday, the satellite signal of Ursula von der Leyen's plane was elected.
With Ursula? Well, she had an interesting event. She's a tremendous woman. And so what are you asking me about her?
NATO's concerned about an attitude about this.
NATO is concerned about it. Well, nobody knows where it came from, but they did take away her ability to use a phone. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that could happen to me. I'd be very happy.
Mr. President, reducing the tariffs on India from 50%.
What does that mean?
Are you considering taking away some of the tariffs that you've imposed on India?
No, we get along with India very well. But India you have to understand, for many years, it was a one-sided relationship. Only now, since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world, number one. And we therefore weren't doing much business with India, but they were doing business with us because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them. So they would send in massive, everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But we would not send in anything because they were charging us 100% tariffs. And, I'll give you an example. Harley Davidson couldn't sell into India. There was a 200% tariff on a motorcycle. So what happens? Harley Davidson went to India and built a motorcycle plant. And now they don't have to pay tariffs. Same thing as us. So what we're doing is literally thousands of companies are coming into the U.S., car companies, AI, but, more traditionally car companies. We have so many car company factories under construction or being designed right now. And they're coming from China, they're coming from Mexico, I must tell you, and they're coming from Canada. A lot of them coming from Canada, but they're coming into our country because they want to build here. And they want to build here for two reasons. Number one, they'd like to be here. And number two, the tariffs are protecting them. And number three, they want to avoid paying tariffs. When they build their cars here, they don't have any tariffs to pay. You know, when you build here, you don't have any tariffs.
Mr. President,
Go ahead,
in
please.
light of the Minnesota shooting last week, the Department of Homeland Security is now awarding more than $100 million to hundreds of faith organizations across the country to help them ramp up security. What's your vision for further protecting religious liberty across the country amid incidents of threats? And
So
violence?
religious liberty is so important. And we're talking about every religion now. And we're doing things on that nobody else has ever done. And we're going to be having a big announcement in about 2 weeks on that question. Yeah, please.
On Space Command, sir, are you concerned that people may not be willing to relocate from Colorado to Alabama?
No, I'm not worried. We'll get somebody else.
Colorado.
I mean, the problem with Colorado is they have a very corrupt voting system. Look, I have so many friends in Colorado. Anytime you have mail-in voting, you have corrupt elections. Very simple. It's very simple. Even Jimmy Carter said it with his commission. They set up a commission with him and Scoop Jackson and some people, highly regarded people. And they said the finding was, if you have mail-in voting, you will have corrupt elections. Well, your radical left governor decided that he was going to have all mail-in voting in Colorado. Once you have all mail-in voting, and for whatever reason, the Democrats cheat. And they cheat like, they're not stupid. That's the only thing. They're no good on policy. They're no good on management. They're no good at government, but they're great at cheating. And they stick together too. I give them credit for sticking together. Please.
Obviously, this is a big win for national security, moving this to Alabama. We've all can agree with that.
Big.
Is there any idea of the economic impact this has on the state and on that local area?
Katie, do you want to answer that?
Look, I mean,
Please go.
this is going to be tremendous. I mean, the state of Alabama, what we've seen through this process is the worst of Washington. We've seen politics get in the way of what is best for the warfighter, what's best for national security. And the state of Alabama is about to show the country the best among us. So we know the economic impact is going to be tremendous. There at Redstone Arsenal, we're proud to house everything from the FBI to headquarters there for material command to a number of things. We obviously have NASA with Marshall Space Flight Center. And so this naturally fits within. When you look at the decision matrix that they placed in front of us, that's why we ranked so high, is because we have the resources necessary and the ability to build out quickly to meet the needs in front of us. As far as economic impact, it would be tremendous. Does anybody have an exact number? 1,600 jobs. With 3,000 spinoff. Look at this. This is teamwork right here. So we are really proud, and the people of Alabama are ready to get to work.
And I've got a housing question, if you could, just for a second, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
please.
Owning a home and going about the American dream seems like it's out of touch for a lot of Americans.
Yeah.
Just recently, you pushed out a statement about addressing an emergency housing situation.
That's right. We're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, can you just?
Well, we need a little help from the Fed. We have a man named Jerome Too Late Powell. You probably heard of him. He's too late. He's way too late. And the economy is so strong that it's pushing through that. Normally, it would have been much tougher, but we're doing so well that we're pushing through it. But it makes it very hard for people to get mortgages because too late is too late. Very simple. He's too late. And probably political, whatever. He wasn't too late before the election. Before the election, he was cutting rates, right? Because he was hoping that, I guess, Biden would get in, or that Kamala would. He was a big Biden guy. Explain that one. And then he was a Kamala person, but he was hoping, I guess, she'd win. I guess. I don't know. It didn't work out too well. But yeah, we need a very serious cut. You know, I think that if you look back many decades ago, the United States was always the lowest, even if they were doing badly. The United States was, because without the United States, everything in the world would die. It's true. It's so powerful. It's so big. And I made it really big in the first 4 years. Then it started to degenerate with what this Biden administration did. But we built it up to a level that I never thought we could be at this quickly. We're the hottest, we're the best financially. The money coming in is so big because of tariffs and other things, but because of tariffs. Tariff gets us even those other things. Plus, it gets us great negotiating. I settled 7 wars, and numerous of those wars were because of trade. And numerous of the trade deals that I made were because of tariffs. It gives you a great negotiating ability. If that ability were taken away from us by a liberal court acting on essentially foreign nations asking to get help from the United States government, when they've been doing this to us for 40 years, that's why we have $38 trillion in debt. We won't have it for long if they let us, if they allow us to do what everybody knows we should be able to do. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, another Biden-era action that you're now reversing is that you signed a deal last week to make federal buildings adopt and embrace classical architecture styles again. Can you talk to us about why you do that, and also what's your vision?
Well, we want to see beautiful buildings. Now, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. I've seen architectural reviews over the years. I'm an expert at it. I've gotten a lot of great reviews, but I've seen buildings that I didn't think were very good get great reviews, and I've seen great buildings get bad reviews. So, but it's just a standard. We want to have a good standard. We're building something here, you know, for 150 years, they wanted a ballroom at the White House. We're doing something at the highest level using great architects and all. And, you know, it's very exciting. But we have a lot of interesting things happening architecturally in DC. And DC is like a different place. And, you know, even the contractor said, sir, we walked down today, we feel like much safer. It's like a different place. Washington, D.C. is great. Now, we're going to also beautify it. We're going to put a topping on the roads. We're not going to rip them apart and take 4 years to build a road that was exactly the same by the time you build it. But we're going to put toppings. We're going to put new medians in. We're going to get the graffiti off. We're going to put tiles up in the tunnels where the tiles are missing. And we'll do the whole tunnel instead of, you know, a little area where you see new tiles, old tiles that never look too good, but they could use it. You know, they've been up for 50 years. They've served their duty. But we're going to make this within about a 20-mile radius from the White House. We're going to have this place spick and span. It's going to be crime-free, and it's going to be spick and span. It's going to be, you'll be proud of Washington again. Go ahead, please.
Sir, China's having a massive military parade that President Putin and Kim Jong-un will be attending. Do you interpret that as a challenge to this? And are you concerned at all about those countries?
No.
Trying to be some sort of counterweight?
Not at all. China needs us, and I have a very good relationship with President Xi, as you know, but China needs us much more than we need them. No, I don't see that at all, no. And I had actually a very good meeting with President Putin a couple of weeks ago. We'll see if anything comes out of it. If it doesn't, we'll take a different stance.
Today in California ruled
Thank you for the raid, Gary.
National Guard troops to Los
Ale.
Angeles was illegal. Do you have any
Erotic
response?
Well,
viewers.
it was a radical left judge, but very importantly, what did you not tell me in that question or statement that you made? Pretty much of a statement, I think.
Well, I was asking for your response.
No, you didn't say what the judge said, though. The judge said, but you can leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can continue to be in place. That's all we need. But why didn't you put that as part of your statement? Because the same judge ruled exactly as you said, except the judge said that you can leave the 300 people that you already have in place. They can stay, they can remain, they can do what they have to do. Thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, so there you have it. The press conference went good. You're seeing a lot of cope on social media right now because there's a lot of people that said that President Trump was dead, that President Trump wasn't going to, that he had a stroke, that he wasn't running the country, all of that. I mean, the weirdest people in the world. Like, I want you to look at this headline right here. And this is where you know you have peak Trump derangement syndrome. I'm trying to find it right now. It's from Aaron Rupar, who is one of the most ridiculous people. Look at this right here. Trump lives and looks pretty normal by his standards. What in the world is wrong with these people? And if you know anything about Aaron Rupar, I mean, this guy has been off his rocker for a long time. So, But with that said, I do have breaking news for everyone. This is breaking news. And normally I don't have the ability to share it, but another dildo has landed on a WNBA game. Breaking news, another dildo shows up at a WNBA game. Here is the evidence right here. This might be the biggest dildo we have seen at a WNBA game. This is a huge dildo right here. So there you have it. Another one. Breaking news. Now here's the thing about a Trump press conference is there's always like these one-liners. So like Autism Capital post this. Trump says black people want Trump to come to Chicago. What a headline, dude. Black people want Trump to come to Chicago. So I just responded with Do-Rag Vince. Trump should just walk into Chicago like this. So there it is. Oh, man. Yes, that was. You guys are right. Alec Baldwin is right there. Not to be confused with Alec Baldwin's finger, the more famous of the Alec Baldwins. This is the less famous version of Alec Baldwin right there. Not to be confused with Alec Baldwin's finger. Alec Baldwin's finger is more famous and is richer than the Dollar General version of Alec Baldwin in this video right here. So, now there were just like any Trump press conference, we've got new meme templates. Look at this right here. So like, that's a new meme template right there. Look at the guy in the back looking over Trump's shoulder to see. So Peter Doocy asked Trump if he's seen the video of someone throwing a bag out of the the White House window. Trump said it's AI generated. He hasn't seen it. Doocy walks over there, shows him the video because Trump says, "Can you show me the video?" And then you've got this guy. Oh my God, man. It's unbelievable. The amount of memes that get produced out of one Trump press conference. Absolutely awesome. Trump had said this too, and I agree with this. So right here, President Trump says the AI video of him growing up over the years was a little bit scary, to be honest with you. So this is the one he's talking about.
It's the kind of thing they do. And one of the problems we have with AI, it's both good and bad. If something happens really bad, just blame AI. But also they create things, it works both ways. If something happens that's really bad, maybe I'll have to just blame AI. But there's truth to it because I see so many phony things. I saw something as I was growing up from the time I was a baby till now. I said, who did that? It was AI generated. So it's a little bit scary, to be honest with you. But those windows are all very heavily sealed.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I mean, AI is a little creepy from that perspective. No doubt about it. Where are we at? John Jones says Nick Saban for head of Space Force. Thrash Fice, let's see. Thrash Fice says, I guess Chicago really is MAGA country. I guess just Juicy Smollett was right the whole time. Albert says Trump didn't die. Well, there's always tomorrow. Let the big orange pile of fecal matter annex that. Darth Gavel says the memes write themselves. They always do. They always do. We got Greg Kirby with a new member, becomes a new member. Probably re-upped. Thank you, Greg Kirby. Slain Hope says national security assets should not be in blue states. Golden Nugget says now you can be gay from space, Jeremy. Sharpshooter says, what about Sabaton? Nothing hits like war history and metal. Commodore fan says, look up GNR had a light, had a light gun arcade game. Okay, I'll look it up. So yeah, I wasn't familiar with that, but I will look it up. Okay, and that brings us to the end of the stream. We have Tuesday night's main event tonight on the main Geeks and Gamers channel. So thank you again for the raid, Gary. I appreciate it. Shout out to the real BBC. Appreciate you guys. So Tuesday night's main event is happening on the main Geeks and Gamers channel tonight in a couple of hours. If you're interested in that, I mean, I guess I could just, we got raided here, and I guess I could raid you over to there, even though it's a few hours away, but I might as well do it. So, because why not, you know? So, thank you guys so much. Really do appreciate it. No tax on tips. We won. No tax on tips. So, I'll see you guys for Tuesday night's main event. Have a good evening, and we will talk to you later. Waiting is all we ever do, says BK. Thank you. Fantastic vs. Not says judge blocking evidence from public over the Ryan Routh court case. Nick just tweeted it. Yeah, I saw that earlier. That broke a few hours ago. I was going to cover it, but then we got caught up on the Trump press conference. So I might go live a little bit later tonight after main event. We'll see. So thank you guys so much. Have a good evening. Talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.